Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm here today to do a review on One Piece 638. Now, this episode starts off in the B block of the Coliseum. You get the ending where Hawk punched into one of Bartolomeo's barriers and got basically fucked up. Then it continues on to talk about Dogma and his tacticians. Basically, after most of the big people were destroyed and Bellamy targeted Bartholomew and tried to attack him, then Bellamy got pretty much shut down in the same way that Hawk did. You got everybody that was protecting King Isabella fighting Blue Gilly. Blue Gilly knocks out at least close to half of them, and then Dogma tries to slice him in the back, and Blue Gilly wasn't having that shit, so he just knocks Dogma out really fucking easily. And then you have everybody looking at the King ready to attack him, and the King's sitting there still throwing his punches, rearing up, getting ready to go. Then it cuts back to Frankie and the toy soldier. And basically, the toy soldier was telling Frankie that he really shouldn't be talking that loud about those type of plans and what his intentions were, because the toy soldier has something similar in plan. And they all of a sudden they hear something, so it cuts back up to the scene where the king is finished charging his punch and he's basically getting ready to throw it, and the whole stadium's shaking. And then he proceeds to throw his punch, and it sends like a line of basically like a circular wind gust in front of him and a shockwave all around him. And this knocks out all of the competitors except for one. The one guy that everybody in the stadium hates, Bartolomeo. Now, Oda does a damn good job about this because he can draw some character up to be the worst motherfucker in the world and have all the fans love him, or a majority of the fans love him. Because personally, I love Bartolomeo. And there is something I gotta pick about it in this episode. You look at the whole crowd, and yeah, Bartolomeo told them all go to hell, and basically saying fuck them throughout the whole little B block arena when he was there. But you gotta look at it. Even in like a regular society, you would have people talking, like one person talks shit to a whole group of people. There's gonna be a few people in that group that are gonna like him for that. But in the whole crowd, Oda writes it off that like everyone hates him. There isn't even one guy that would like him. I don't know. It's just a bit picky for me. And basically, it proceeds on to Bartolomeo blocking the King's punch for his whole side of the arena with a barrier, and it reveals that he has the barrier fruit, which can basically form a barrier in front of him. Now, with the barrier fruit, I'm not sure, but I think there may be a power alongside the barrier fruit that allows him to reflect whatever hits his barrier onto the opponent. Because if you look when Hawk hit him, Hawk didn't he just kind of broke his hand hitting and thrown back. When Bellamy hit him, he got thrown back. And I know Bellamy's made out of spring, so it makes sense for him to go backwards, but he did use his reflect power after he blocked the punch to basically hit the king with a strong amount of force. Now, maybe it absorbs the force that it's hit by and then reflects it onto the enemy. Or maybe he can absorb it and hold it and send it back whenever he wants. Or maybe he just sent a fucking wall at him and knocked him down. But regardless, I still want to see the rest of Bartolomeo's powers and what he could bring forth to the show. And there's been speculation by people that Bartolomeo may become a Straw Hat. I mean, not everybody, but a lot of people are leaning towards that fact. Now, personally, I don't think that's going to happen. No way. Because Bartholomew is basically the bad, disrespectful guy, basically pretty much the guy Luffy wouldn't like. I mean, he disrespects everybody. He fucking just a dick. He killed innocent people, and Luffy wouldn't go for that. But you got Bellamy on the other hand, who's brought back just to be knocked out of the competition for nothing. What's gonna become of Bellamy? That's one thing I really want to see. What did he do in Skypiea? Is he gonna tell Luffy this stuff? And that's gonna the episode cuts back to Frankie and Toy Soldier. The Toy Soldier tells Frankie that basically to whisper, I guess, and he proceeds to tell Frankie that they also want to destroy the Smile Factory. The only thing is, they have people inside the Smile Factory that they want to save. And so Frankie and the Toy Soldier, the one-legged Toy Soldier, begin to collaborate. And hopefully pretty soon we'll take a break from this and actually get to see some of Frankie's stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy the fights. The fights at B Block weren't all that great. We got to see Bartholomew show off his powers, and we got to see the King Punch, which are pretty fucking raw. But this whole episode, like, I enjoyed Blue Gilly, but they took him out way too easy for what he was built up to be, which kind of upset me. But then you go on to Frankie stuff. Hopefully, within the next episode or two, Frankie will start his invasion on the factory, or we'll get some insight on why the Toy Soldier actually wants to destroy the factory. Is the factory related to them becoming toys, or is it just that, you know, they want to destroy the factory to get back at Doflamingo? Because obviously it's one of Doflamingo's big things, because he deals with Kaido, and he's basically, maybe what they're thinking is if they destroy the factory, then Kaido will get pissed at Doflamingo and try to fight Doflamingo, because Doflamingo can't provide him with the smile fruits or the fake devil fruits. So maybe that's what the Toy Soldier's hoping for. We don't know. And overall, the animation was about the same. It wasn't all that great. I mean, if you just look at the outlines of some of the characters in the actual fight, they weren't that good. I'm gonna have to give 8 out of 10 on that animation. The plot progression, 10 out of 10, because obviously we got to see some more. We got to see the B Block continue and end. Then we got to see Frankie basically talk with a Toy Soldier about what they're gonna do to the Smile Factory. We got to see the start of that anyway. And character progression, we got a little bit on Bartholomew, we got a little bit on Toy Soldier, and we got the King's Punch. So that's a 10 out of 10 because the King's Punch is just epic. And if you also look at what the King Punch reminded me of personally was, if you guys remember back on the Whitebeard War, you had the swordsman Hawkeye Mihawk. He was testing the distance between him and Whitebeard when he sent the big ass sword slash all the way across Marineford, and then it was blocked by Diamond Jozo, and made a little path, well, about the same depth and width as the King's Punch. The only difference is the King's Punch had a massive shockwave. But overall, that's makes me think, is Mihawk's sword slash close to as powerful as that King's Punch that can take down a Yonko? Could Mihawk be a Yonko if he tried? I mean, because that was just a regular sword slash. He didn't put anything else into it. So imagine what Mihawk actually has to bring. I can't wait to see that. That's why Zoro's trained all this fucking time, and it's just gonna be epic. And maybe Zoro obtains a power that's fairly close to that, and then actually gets to use that against Mihawk when he's fighting Mihawk to determine to basically fulfill his dream of becoming the world's greatest swordsman. I assume he fights Mihawk. I don't want like Mihawk to just die out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and then the title gets passed down to Zoro, or maybe the title will get passed down to Vista, and Zoro will have to fight Vista. But overall, or Shanks even. Shanks is a swordsman. So it would all be cool. I just don't think Zoro will fight Shanks because that's basically who Luffy wants to fight. But it'd be pretty cool to see Mihawk actually come out and show his shit. But overall, that episode, 8 out of 10. It was alright, but it wasn't all there for me. Alright guys, peace out.